Dr. Hoa Nguyen of the Physicians Advisory Group joins us now. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning, Chris, Sabrina. Good morning.
Man, Doc, I gotta say, I had no idea you were one of the Vietnamese refugees who came from Vietnam in the 70s. I had no idea.
Yeah, that's a trip by itself. 46 years ago is a long time. But yes, I was 14 with my mom's, my older brother, and two younger sister. Yeah, we all come to Guam in April 1975, and with nothing except just our shirt and our bag, and that's it. We just got off on the plane and come to Guam.
And look at you now.
It's a great thing. I tell you, bring me back our memory, and I have a chance back in the 90s when I think Guam also accept the Kurdish refugee.
Right.
I was the chief for aerospace medicine for the Anderson Air Force Base, and I asked to be the first one to be on the plane to kind of welcome the Kurdish refugee, and I tell you that's an experience. It's really memory that cannot be replaced. It's so nice to see those people face on the airplane. So I really hope that Guam can again welcome the refugee from Afghanistan because I think those people need a lot of help. I know my father back in April 1975 when um, he was staying back in Vietnam, and he got put in jail for a long time for no reason, just because he support the U.S. Lucky he's alive and joined us in the U.S. later, but it's miserable for him. So I think that those people that extend themselves to help the U.S. And that part of the region also for the security of us here in Guam, United States, they gonna need help to get themselves out of there before something happened to them.
Mhm. Yeah, I know you said you were 14, but do you kind of remember the process that you and your family went through after you landed on Guam?
When we first arrived, which I still remember, we get ourselves in those hangar, those big round hangar they have on the flight line, and I remember that just the bed, the mattress is on the floor, and that's where we stay for a few days before we get moved to Asan. But there's 14 kids, and you enjoy the moment. It's a different thing, but think back, I feel sorry for my moms and other adults that they know what's going on at that time.
And when did you decide to go to medical school?
Um, you know, I actually graduated a bachelor degree in computer engineers. I've worked as an engineer before, and after about 2 3 years of working as an engineer, I decided to go back to medical school because my brother and sister they're all in medical school at that time. So I just decided to join them, and I tell you that's the best decision I ever make.
Mhm. Weren't you also in the military?
Hmm?
Were you in the military?
You're in special forces, right?
No. I got a scholarship for the for from the Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
There actually is a really good program that if anyone that get accepted to medical school and don't want to owe so much money, the Air Force and Navy they offer a wonderful scholarship for medical school. That you work every year that they pay for the school. You work for 1 year, and when you graduate from medical school in your residency, you owe zero. And if I'm going to do it again, I do the same program. It's a wonderful opportunity. Like I say, I wouldn't have the opportunity unless Guam opened its arm and welcomed us in 1975. So it's a wonderful country.
Right.
What have you heard about this Afghan refugee stuff, Doc? I mean, have you heard anything?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know Biden's going to pull out his force, and there's a lot of Afghanistan people there that help us fight the battle over there. So it's really they're gonna need to go somewhere. We can't leave them behind. I tell you, children, women, adult, I don't think that they're gonna have a good chance to be alive. So we have to help them somehow.
Well, what about the COVID? How are we doing on the COVID?
We look at the COVID, the positive rate in Afghanistan for surprisingly very, very, very low. They much lower than anywhere else, and I think that I'm not sure because their inability to test or what, but their COVID is very, very low. Of course, we're going to screen everyone when they get here if they get here. But I'm sure they're going to confine in certain space, and they're not going to be interact with the people in the community, except the people that help them regarding their living quarter and their food intake. But I think that's going to be Guam's still safe to welcome them. They like I say they're not going to be in the community and interact with other people here. So I think we'll be fine. We know what to do now after a year of the pandemic.
Yeah, guys, we did a whole interview with Dr. Hoa Nguyen with Nestor Lecanto from the KUA News team, where they really go into Dr. Hoa's the story about being one of the, was it hundreds, Bree, or thousands of refugees from Vietnam?
I think like over 100,000.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say. So that's on our KUA News Facebook page, and also I believe our KUA News YouTube page. Doc, I know that we were talking before you came on a little bit of a spike in the hospitalizations.
Yeah, still everyone in the hospital. I think we go like 10 during the weekend. We're down to 7 or 8 now. One in the ICU. But again, everyone in the hospital are not vaccinated. So that's why we really encourage people in the community to go out and get the vaccine. There's a lot of clinic throughout Guam, especially UOG, to open almost every day. We have the Hyatt outreach tonight from 4 to 7 for everyone, and you can walk in there. And public health have a small part everywhere. So I tell you, go out and get the vaccine. We are doing very good. I tell you, people, we have a kind of little dip in the vaccination drive about last week or so. But I tell you, we see the number going back up again. And especially from 12 to 15 now, we see a lot of family come out. To the adult and children both, and it's a family thing, so they come out and get vaccinated. And it's amazing sometimes the children is the one that tell the parents, hey, let's go get vaccinated. So it's nice to see the whole family out there.
Any adverse reactions that you know of, Doc, with any of the kids who received the vax?
We did the Father Duenas. It's 300 people there. We did the GIGO this past weekend. A lot of children come out, and so far, no, they're pretty easy. There's absolutely no adverse reaction. I don't hear anything from UOG neither. They have a huge amount of children there also. So I think that so far so good. And children at age of 12 to 15 is amazing. There's 100% efficacy. My 30-year-old boy got vaccinated, Father Duenas, and he's fine. He went and played volleyball the next day. So kids are doing very well.
Do they also have to go through the 15-minute observation period after receiving the shot?
Yeah, still the same. We keep them for 15 minutes. The kid is easy. They don't have that 30 minutes thing. So, the majority of them have 15 minutes. And I say when they just sit there on their phone, surf the net, and they go home. It's really a very easy process to do. We have next school year, most likely is face-to-face. It's the only way that you can protect your kids and on face-to-face to get them vaccinated. So to keep their all the student and all that classmates safe. So I would say that go out there and get themselves vaccinated. You have the whole summer, so I guess school starts sometime in August. So you have June coming up. So remember, 3 weeks for the Pfizer. So sometime in the end of June or July, you should, and 2 weeks after that. So perfect time for them to get vaccinated now for the school year next year.
What if you're going to turn 12 like for in 5 months? Would that kid be eligible for the shot?
Asking for a
I
friend.
think right now, Bria, I think we predict that maybe September, October, that they're going to approve 6 months and older. So I know there are a lot of trial now. So I think we're looking September, October for the next phase that they're going to low down the age group again for the Pfizer.
Right. Yeah, I just saw that this morning that they were doing the clinical trials for the 5 month, or is it 5 month or 6 month?
Yeah, and
6
Guam,
months, yeah.
I tell you, we are ahead of the state. So I think that by the end of July, we're gonna get in the 70.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a out. No, we are really doing very well. So again, we cannot just say, hey, we satisfied with 60 or something. We got to keep pushing it. And we are start to look for some planning for next year, because I think more likely it's going to be an annual booster. So we have to somehow come up with a plan to remind people of their booster shot and how to run things a lot more efficient, because we cannot do probably UOG like this for the whole next year. It's almost impossible.
So, Doc, I mean, is that what we're going to be getting as a booster shot? That's a done deal?
Well, right now, that's the talk, but there's nothing confirmed out there, Chris, Sabrina. So, but I think it's going to be just like the flu shot. You're going to get once a year. Until we get a firm cure for the COVID-19, I think the best way to fight COVID-19 is through immunization.
Have you heard any, or has there been any other discussions about consolidating the QFAC and the ISOFAC, or scaling back the QFAC?
I think that the idea is once we get to certain percentage of people vaccinated, we can do away with the Q factor, completely. I think at a certain point, 72 hours, PCR testing prior to arrival will probably most likely be in place if we reach certain percentage of the island vaccinated. So. And that's something that we talk about in the PAG, and we continue to talk about it in the next 2 or 3 weeks, because hopefully, as a number of vaccination, the number of vaccinated people will go up, we will look forward to change the Q factor, quarantine guideline again.
Doc, we had a comment. Do you know what is the estimate of children 12 to 15 who are going through the trials?
I think it's in the thousand. I'm not sure what's the firm number is. First, that they have to have a minimum number of people go through it in order for them to deem safe. I don't have that on top of my head, but I know that they have criteria they have to go through, and FDA and CDC are very strict on those. That they don't skip anything in order to approve a vaccine to be used a certain age group. That's something I'm confident they don't skip.
It's a process.
It's a process to go through.
So, I didn't know if I heard you right, but you said that when we reach a certain percentage of vaccinations, that the quarantine will end completely.
Yeah, I mean that's the key. I think that we have to open our island. The difference us in Hawaii, Hawaii have a much robust medical system. The hospital is a lot better and a lot more admission. They can handle a lot more admission than we do. So they did that for the past few months with the 72 hours PCR testing prior to our arrival. and they have a little bit of surge, but they still can handle in the hospital wise. So I think at a certain point when our island reach certain percentage of people vaccinated, uh, we are safe to open with the requirement of 72 hours prior to arrival PCR testing, and they shouldn't need to have a Q factor just because the majority of people have been vaccinated already. And the people that choose not to vaccinate, it's their right, and I mean, they take the risks and their lives in their hand. But we cannot, keep the Q factor running because few people are not vaccinated. It's a very costly thing. We did it right now to save our island, but again, the best defense for this thing is immunization, and we have it right now. We're doing very well. So I think at a certain point, the Q factor will go away. For sure.
But Doc, what about those who are coming in who are not vaccinated?
Yeah, Chris, that's the point. As long as the majority of people are vaccinated, the COVID-19 not going to go away. It's always going to be there. But as long as the majority of people are vaccinated, even they have the virus, they won't be that sick, and the hospital admission will be very low. So that's the key. Is not to have zero. The key is that protect our people by if they caught the virus, they catch the virus, they not that sick. And they don't require hospital, and that's the whole purpose of have the immunization.
Doc, have you heard anything about whether or not the state of public health emergency is going to be lifted? I mean, it's set to expire on the 31st on the holiday. Have you heard anything?
I think at a certain point we have to. I think I'm not sure when the governor going to make the decision. She have to make the decision. Right. So a lot of factors she have to consider. Is a lot of people say it's about the money, but it's not. It's a lot of things that she have to consider before she lifts the state of emergency. I feel for her. I hate to be in her shoes because you make decision, it's wrong. She be responsible. So either way, there's some unhappy people out there. But again, it's she bears her own responsibility. So we just have to follow her lead and hope for the best for the island.
Okay.
Doc, do you foresee a future where we get these people who aren't vaccinated coming in at the airport, where we just say, "Oh, you're not vaccinated, come here," and just give them the shot right there, like maybe a J&J, one shot?
That's what they do in a lot of places in the States, especially like Alaska. So people come in, they can be offered the vaccine if they want at the airport. Again, any opportunity that you can give to people that you can take, you should take. There's a mobile clinic that at the grocery store, that everywhere else. So, any chance that you can make it convenient for people, everyone that you get back, that you give the vaccine to, it help the community. So, yeah, I think Chris, we talked about that before. It's just the public health had the manpower not to put it a clinic at the airport. That's just all about manpower.
Right.
But again, really, really encourage people to go out and get vaccinated. We have plenty. I think we have like 60,000 doses coming in. So we have a lot of vaccine. It's just now is how to get those vaccines to people's arms. That's the challenge. Guard, public health, private. We all have to step in to try to make it easy for people to access those vaccines.
Bree, you good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I tell you, from our AMC website, there's a lot of requests from expats from off island.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Thank you. Yeah, so this Airbnb, what are you hearing?
Yeah, for some reason they reach our COVID website, and I guess because the Hyatt outreach, because it's a hotel, so they really lot of inquiry for the expats, especially from Japan, that want to travel to Guam to get the vaccine. I know that government criteria have not rolled out everything yet, but I tell you that there are quite a few inquiries for that through our website to find out more information about it. So it's like I say, we need to try. Like I say, anything else better than where we are right now.
Yeah, that's interesting, Doc. Because but right now, today, people can come to Guam and get the vaccine because they just get they come with no vaccine. They're going to go into quarantine and then they get the shot.
Yes.
You know what I was one of the things I was thinking was with this Airbnb, they come, they get one shot, right, and then they get the second shot, but then they're not considered fully vaccinated until 2 weeks after the second shot.
Yes,
Right.
that's correct. But at least even the first shot, they are about 75-80% protected already. When they have a choice to stay here, enjoy the island, because their quarantine is over already. They can travel around, or they can fly back and come back again for the second shot. I mean, there's a lot of things that GVB will look at, and I let Governor Gutierrez discuss on that stuff. But I know Japan, Korea is kind of slow to roll out the vaccine, and I know the expat, if they're U.S. citizen, they can get the vaccine anywhere in U.S. territory or state. So it's their choice to travel, and Guam put the shortest flight, 3 hours away from them.
Right. All right, Doc. You good?
Okay.
Yeah, good talk, Doc.
Okay, guys.
Appreciate
Be
it.
safe.
Thanks.
You
Okay?
too. You too. Enjoy your 3-day weekend. If we don't talk to you before then,
Okay, I'll take you out fishing.
we'll see you.
Okay.
Bye.
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 There you go. Boy, Bree, doesn't it seem like back during the height of the pandemic, I remember Dr. Hoa had said something about, when all this clears up, we'll go fishing on my boat. And I remember thinking, like, that's never going to happen. Are you crazy? And yet, here we are.